Have you ever stopped to think that you might be surrounded by secrets, and you don't even realize it? Every day, you use dozens of common objects: a backpack, a keyboard, a tube of toothpaste. Everything seems normal, until someone shows you that there's something there that you never noticed. The detail that you always ignored. The hidden function that changes everything. And the craziest part? These little discoveries can reveal a new way of seeing the world around you. More attentive, more curious, more intelligent. Because the truth is, the world is not made up of only great mysteries. Sometimes, the biggest wow is that pom-pom on the hat you wear in winter, or that little hole in the lollipop stick. Does it seem silly? Well, it's precisely because it seems silly that almost no one notices it. And while many people live on autopilot, you are about to break that cycle. Are you ready to see everyday life with different eyes? So, hold on to this sequence of curiosities that will surprise you, one by one. Have you ever stopped to think why those two keys on your keyboard, F and J, have a strange little mark? It's not just decoration or a manufacturing defect. It's engineering thought out down to the smallest detail. It's a tactile guide made for those who type without looking, the famous real typists. By positioning their index fingers there, the person automatically finds the other keys with precision. A small protrusion that, when used correctly, makes typing fluid. This curiosity seems trivial, but it's a true lesson in ergonomics hidden in your daily life. Think about it. How many times have you typed in the dark or with the monitor turned off, just to test your muscle memory? Well, these little marks are silent allies in this process. And you don't need to be a professional typist to take advantage of this, did you know? Even if you only send emails, write posts, or do schoolwork, positioning your fingers correctly can double your speed over time. By the way, if you want to develop the habit of typing without looking, start practicing with tools like Keyboard or Typing Club. Simple, intuitive, and even fun platforms. In a few days, you will realize how much these two keys, previously ignored, are gateways to a more agile world that is less dependent on the eyes. And if even that surprised you, wait until you find out how a simple detail on coins can carry centuries of intelligence. Take a close look at the edge of a coin. See that serration? Well, there's more to it than meets the eye. Back when coins were made of real gold and silver, some clever people would try to scrape the edges to remove flakes of metal and then pass the coin on as if nothing had happened. It was a subtle but dangerous fraud. The serration was created precisely to put an end to this. If it was worn away, it meant someone was trying to take advantage. This curiosity shows how even the most subtle details have a strategic purpose. The serration served as a seal of integrity, an anti-corruption mechanism built into everyday money. Today, even with coins made of cheap materials, the pattern remains, more as a tradition and visual security than as actual protection. Still, it reminds us that even the design of what we carry in our pockets can be the result of centuries of trial and error, and also of creative flair. If you want to see this in action, pick up an old coin, one of those collector coins, and compare it to a modern one. The difference in texture, weight, and even sound when dropped on the floor is impressive. In fact, numismatic museums, like the Central Bank's Museum of Values in Brasilia, are true treasure chests of curiosities like this, except instead of gold, you leave there rich in knowledge. And since we're talking about seemingly silly things with hidden functions, just look at what that pom-pom on your hat has to say. You must admit it, you thought the pom-pom on top of a hat was just for decoration, right? But don't worry, it was originally used on French Navy ships. The accessory was born as a practical solution, to protect sailors' heads from the low ceilings of ships. Since they lived in cramped quarters, it was common for them to hit their heads on wooden beams. The pom-pom served as a strategic, discreet, but effective cushion. A touch of protection disguised as style. Over time, the pom-pom left the seas and ended up on the catwalks, on the streets, in winter stores, and became fashionable. Its protective function was lost, but its charm remained. Today, it appears on wool hats, sports caps, and even children's costumes. And the most curious thing is that, even without knowing why, people continue to use this detail naturally. It's as if the story was embroidered there, silently, just waiting to be told by someone attentive enough. Want a fun idea? The next time you wear a pom-pom hat, tell someone about this interesting fact. It's one of those stories that will make you smile, break the ice and show you that you're a walking encyclopedia. And that's just the beginning, because even that strange detail on your backpack that looks like a pig's nose hides a clever purpose. You know that little piece of leather sewn into your backpack, in a diamond shape with 2 cuts in the middle? That's right, it's the pig's nose, as many people call it. Despite the funny nickname, it has a much more useful function than you might think. This detail came about at a time when backpacks needed to be versatile for those who faced trails, camping, and long trips. The cuts were used to pass ropes or straps through and to attach large objects to the outside, such as sneakers, a flashlight, or even a sleeping bag. It's one of those curiosities that goes unnoticed, but has the power to transform a regular backpack into a more functional tool. Even today, outdoor brands like JanSport and the North Face keep the pig's nose on their backpacks, even though most people have never used it. The curious thing is that, in times of urbanization, the accessory has become more of a visual signature than an actual support. But for those who like to explore or improvise, it is still a great help. Want a practical application? Going hiking or backpacking? Take advantage of this forgotten detail to carry flip-flops, hang a bottle with a carabiner, or even secure a rolled-up coat. In addition to freeing up internal space, you will also be seen as someone who knows what they are doing. And if even a backpack has a hidden trick like this, imagine what those colored stripes on your toothpaste tube say. You've probably noticed those little colored stripes at the base of a toothpaste tube, right? Green, blue, black. And then you wonder, do they tell you anything about the composition of the product? Spoiler, no. Although the internet has been spreading this idea for some time now, these little marks have absolutely nothing to do with ingredients. In fact, they serve as a guide for bottling machines. It's like a stopping point that indicates, here's the end of the tube, you can seal it. These marks are called colored marks, and they work as visual coordinates for optical sensors. Thus, during high-speed production, the machine identifies exactly where to cut and seal the tube. In other words, without them, the tube would come out crooked, poorly sealed, or even with the nozzle facing the wrong way. It's funny to think that a simple graphic detail guarantees the practicality of your morning ritual. And we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. The backstage of the industry is full of tricks like this. If you want to prove it, try looking at the packaging of tubes of paint, ointments, or gourmet sauces. Most of them use the same system. In other words, from toothpaste to ketchup tubes, the concept is repeated. And since we're talking about ointments, how about taking a closer look at that little metal tip inside the cap? That little piece that is almost always ignored also has a function that makes your life much easier. How many times have you found yourself trying to open a new ointment and, in the absence of anything better, resorted to using your teeth, scissors, or even the cap of a pen? Yes, it happens to everyone. But the truth is that the solution has always been there, discreetly built into the cap itself. That internal protrusion, in the shape of a spike, was designed to pierce the metal seal of the packaging. A clever design touch, made to eliminate improvisations and accidental cuts. This curiosity shows how much we are surrounded by invisible solutions, simply because we don't pay attention. It's the kind of detail that automatically makes life easier. You take off the cap, turn it upside down, press the seal, and that's it. No more risking trying to open it with a butter knife or scraping it with your nails. The industrial world has learned, over time, to anticipate our small problems and provide discreet and effective solutions. If you want to apply this knowledge, take a look at other similar products: industrial glues, hair dye tubes, healing ointments. They all follow the same logic. And next time you open one, try using the lid as it was designed. It's almost therapeutic to see something work so well. And speaking of ingenious and seemingly useless holes, have you ever noticed that weird little hole in the lollipop stick? The scene is classic. You're enjoying a lollipop when, suddenly, the candy comes loose and flies out of your mouth like a sugary projectile. Then comes the surprise. That little hole in the stick, which seemed like just a manufacturing defect, actually has a very specific purpose. It's a kind of anchor for the caramel. During production, the liquid candy enters the hole and hardens inside, making the lollipop firmly attached to the stick. Practical, right? It's one of those curiosities that combines science with simplicity. It's not glue, it's not magic, it's physics and design working together. In fact, this system is so effective that it even inspired children's toys and utensils, such as spoons with grooves that help babies hold food. The logic is the same: to increase grip by creating a locking point. It's a detail that many people don't even notice, but that makes all the difference in the final product. The next time you suck on a lollipop, notice the little hole. What's more, show it to someone and tell them the story. It's the kind of mini lesson that surprises and entertains at the same time. After all, even a candy cane can be a small feat of engineering. Now, if all this sounds impressive, just wait until you see what's behind other common everyday objects, things you touch every day but never imagined had secret functions. Have you ever stopped to think that you might be surrounded by secrets, and you don't even realize it? Every day, you use dozens of common objects: a backpack, a keyboard, a tube of toothpaste. Everything seems normal, until someone shows you that there's something there that you never noticed. The detail that you always ignored. The hidden function that changes everything. And the craziest part? These little discoveries can reveal a new way of seeing the world around you. More attentive, more curious, more intelligent. Because the truth is, the world is not made up of only great mysteries. Sometimes, the biggest wow is that pom-pom on the hat you wear in winter, or that little hole in the lollipop stick. Does it seem silly? Well, it's precisely because it seems silly that almost no one notices it. And while many people live on autopilot, you are about to break that cycle. Are you ready to see everyday life with different eyes? So, hold on to this sequence of curiosities that will surprise you, one by one.